One day she laughs at your jokes. The next day, she looks at you like you're invisible. She pulls away when you touch her. She rolls her eyes when you speak. And you're left sitting there, wondering, what the hell just happened? Did I do something wrong? Did she stop loving me overnight? Let me give you the uncomfortable truth most men never hear until it's too late. She didn't just change. She's testing you. And if you don't know the game she's playing, you've already lost. Women don't announce these tests. They don't hand you a warning label. They'll hit you with silence, with drama, with subtle digs at your confidence. They'll throw you little curveballs, questions, scenarios, temptations, just to see what kind of man you really are when the mask comes off. And here's the brutal part. Most men fail. They get defensive. They chase harder. They blow up in anger or crumble in weakness. And in that split second, something inside her switches off. Respect? Gone. Attraction? Evaporated. Her love? Hanging by a thread. You think you're just arguing about dinner plans, or why she hasn't texted back. But in her mind, she's running an exam you didn't even know you signed up for. Why does she do it? Because deep down, women are wired to push, to probe, to find out if you're solid or soft. If you're the man she can lean on, or the man she'll eventually leave. And here's the harshest truth of all. If you fail these tests, you don't get a second chance. So in this video, I'm pulling back the curtain on the 7 most common tactics women use to test you. The little tricks, the quiet games, the psychological pressure points she'll press, sometimes without even realizing why. You're about to see the hidden mechanics behind her silence, her mood swings, her challenges. And once you do, you'll never fall for them again. Because a man who knows the game can't be played. It starts small. She doesn't answer your text right away. Her replies shrink to one word. And at dinner her eyes are glued to her phone instead of you. No fight, no drama, just silence. And if you're like most men, that silence feels like quicksand. Your mind races. Did I mess up? Did I say the wrong thing? Is she losing interest? So you chase. You text again. You call. You push for answers. And right there, you've already failed the test. Because her silence isn't always punishment. It's not about ignoring you. It's about measuring you. She's checking if you can handle the storm of her emotions without losing control of your own. Women are wired to look for strength, and silence is one of their sharpest tools. She's not just distant. She's watching your every move. Do you panic? Do you beg? Do you crumble? Or do you hold steady, calm, unshaken? Most men fold. The rare few pass. Passing means not chasing. Passing means mirroring her pace. If she pulls back, you don't flood her with desperate energy. You give space, without attitude, without neediness. Passing means redirecting your focus onto yourself, your goals, your mission, your progress. Nothing communicates power louder than a man who doesn't break stride just because she pauses. And when you do this, her silence flips. It stops being a punishment and becomes proof. Proof that you can't be rattled. Proof that you're grounded. Proof that you're the lighthouse in the storm instead of another ship being tossed around. And when she sees that, attraction and respect don't just return. They come back stronger than before. She leans back, smiles, and drops a little jab. Why do you always wear that shirt? Or maybe she teases your haircut, questions your plans, or stirs up a little unnecessary drama. On the surface, it feels playful, or maybe even irritating. But beneath it, this is a test of your composure. See, provocation is one of the oldest tactics women use. It's not about the shirt. It's not about the joke. It's about one question. Can this man handle pressure without losing control? Most guys fail instantly. They get defensive. What do you mean? I like this shirt. Or they snap back with anger, trying to prove they're not weak. Both responses scream insecurity. But the rare man passes by staying calm. He doesn't bite the bait. He doesn't spiral into explanations or explode into aggression. He treats it for what it is, a small poke, not a war. He might smile, shrug, and move the conversation forward. Or he might even turn it playful. Careful, that shirt is undefeated. It's got a 3-0 record on first dates. The point isn't to clap back harder. It's to show you're unshaken. Because if a small tease rattles you, how will you handle bigger storms, arguments, setbacks, life challenges? Women provoke not to destroy you, but to measure you. They're asking, can I trust his stability when it matters most? So when she pokes, don't overreact. Smile. Stay grounded. Let her see that your self-worth doesn't swing on her approval. That calm confidence communicates more than any clever comeback. And once she sees that, the provocation ends, not because she gave up, but because she got her answer. It usually comes out of nowhere. She leans in and asks, would you still be with me if I lost my looks? Or she casually drops, do you think she's prettier than me? Sometimes it's not even a question, it's a comparison. My friend's boyfriend always does this. Why don't you? Most men walk right into the trap. They scramble to reassure her, bending over backward with sweet words or promises. And in doing so, they expose exactly what she's testing for, whether you can be swayed by pressure. Because underneath the surface, this isn't about beauty or comparisons. It's about loyalty. Not blind loyalty to her moods, but loyalty to your own standards and backbone. See, if you fold at every emotional question, you send a clear message. I'll say whatever it takes to keep the peace. And while that sounds safe, it actually kills attraction. Why? Because she can't trust a man who bends his reality just to please her. If you can be swayed this easily, how will you handle real temptations, real challenges, real pressure? The rare man passes this test by holding his ground with calm certainty. If she asks about other women, he doesn't flinch. He answers with confidence, without over-explaining. If she compares you to someone else, he doesn't get defensive. He reminds her, directly or indirectly, why he's different. The key isn't aggression or coldness, it's steadiness. When you stand firm, you communicate that your loyalty isn't cheap words tossed out in panic. It's deeper than that. It's rooted in your principles, your choices, your consistency. And that's what she's really searching for. Proof that you're not just another man who folds under pressure. So the next time she sets the loyalty trap, don't panic, don't perform, don't grovel. Stay grounded. Because loyalty isn't proven through sweet promises. It's proven through strength that doesn't sway. She suddenly pulls back her energy. Texts take longer. Calls get shorter. She seems distracted, busy, maybe even distant. And you feel it immediately, the shift in attention. Most men react like addicts when the supply gets cut. They flood her phone, beg for time, overcompensate with gifts or effort. But that's exactly how they fail the test. Because the attention test isn't about ignoring you. It's about discovery. She wants to know, does this man's confidence collapse when I stop feeding it? If your sense of worth depends entirely on her focus, then you've already lost. You've told her, without words, that your world revolves around her approval. And the moment she knows that, respect begins to vanish. The rare man responds differently. He notices the shift, but he doesn't chase. He doesn't spiral. Instead, he stays composed, grounded in his own mission. His attention doesn't beg, it chooses. When she pulls back, he doesn't panic. He invests that energy into himself. Work, goals, fitness, growth. His life keeps moving forward at full speed. Ironically, this is when she comes back stronger. Because nothing attracts a woman more than a man who doesn't need her validation to function. When she realizes her attention isn't the oxygen you breathe, she starts wanting to give it again. Why? Because your value isn't negotiable. It doesn't rise and fall with her moods. The attention test is brutal, but simple. If you chase, you lose. If you stay solid, you win. And when you win, she doesn't just return her focus. She respects you more than before. She drops his name in casual conversation. Oh, my coworker helped me with that project. He's really good at it. Or she laughs a little too hard at another guy's joke when you're around. Sometimes it's even more direct, posting a picture that makes you wonder who took it. And instantly, your blood heats up. That's the point. This is the jealousy trigger. Now, most men fail right away. They snap, accuse, interrogate. Who is he? Why are you talking about him so much? They turn into detectives, desperately digging for reassurance. But all that does is show insecurity, that you feel threatened by competition. And nothing kills attraction faster than a man proving he doesn't trust his own value. The jealousy trigger isn't really about another guy, it's about you. She wants to see if you can stay grounded when your ego is poked. Can you trust yourself enough to not spiral? Can you keep calm when your pride is tested? Because if you can't, she knows your confidence is fragile, and fragile confidence can't lead. The rare man responds with steady strength. He doesn't get rattled. He doesn't explode. Instead, he leans back, maybe even smirks, and lets it pass. Not because he doesn't care, but because he knows who he is. He knows what he brings. And he doesn't need to fight for position. He already owns it. Ironically, this calm confidence makes her attraction spike. Because when she sees you're unfazed, she realizes no one else can shake your place. The jealousy test isn't about proving you're the only one. It's about proving you act like it. So remember, if you lose your cool, you lose her respect. If you stay solid, you win both her trust and her desire. It usually comes wrapped in sharp words. If you don't do this, we're done. Or, maybe you're not ready for someone like me. Ultimatums are heavy. They're meant to corner you, to see how you react when the pressure feels final. And most men fold instantly. They agree to whatever she wants, not out of choice, but out of fear of losing her. And in that moment, they fail the test. The ultimatum play isn't about the demand itself, it's about power. She wants to know, does this man stand firm in his values, or does he crumble when I push hard enough? If you crumble, you're telling her that her approval outranks your principles, that you'll trade your boundaries for her validation. And that kind of weakness might win her short-term, but it destroys long-term respect. The rare man sees it differently. He doesn't panic. He doesn't lash out. He listens, and then he decides, not from fear, but from clarity. If the ultimatum lines up with his values, fine, he can adjust. But if it crosses his boundaries, he's willing to walk. That willingness to walk is power. It shows her that your world doesn't collapse without her, because you live by choice, not by pressure. And here's the paradox. The moment she realizes you can't be controlled with ultimatums, the ultimatums stop. Because respect replaces fear. She knows she can't shake your foundation, and that's exactly what makes you dependable, desirable, and rare. So when the ultimatum play comes, remember, if you break, you lose. If you stand firm, you rise. It slips in during quiet moments. Where do you see this going? Or do you even want marriage? Kids? A real future? On the surface, it sounds innocent, just curiosity. But underneath, it's a pressure test. She's not just asking about tomorrow. She's measuring how you handle long-term responsibility. Most men freeze. They stutter, dodge, or make promises they're not ready to keep. Some go the other way, shutting down completely, acting like the conversation is a trap. Both reactions fail, because either you look uncertain or you look afraid, and neither inspires confidence. The future pressure test isn't about locking you down, it's about stability. She wants to see if you have a vision, if you know where your life is heading, and if she can picture herself in that journey. Not a fantasy, not a perfect plan, just direction. Because a man without direction feels like quicksand, and no woman wants to build her future on that. The rare man handles it with calm clarity. He doesn't overpromise, he doesn't panic. He speaks his truth. Maybe he's ready for marriage, maybe not, but he knows where he's going. He paints his vision clearly, and he lets her decide if she fits into it. That honesty, paired with certainty, is magnetic. Because here's the secret, she doesn't need a fairy tale answer. She needs to see that you're a man with momentum, with purpose, with a future that isn't built on guesswork. The test isn't about predicting the next 10 years. It's about proving you won't drift aimlessly. So when she presses about the future, don't dodge, don't overpromise. Stand firm in your direction. Because a man who knows where he's going never loses her respect. You've just seen the 7 most common tests women use: silence, provocation, loyalty traps, attention games, jealousy triggers, ultimatums, and future pressure. And here's the truth most men never realize. These tests aren't punishments. They're filters. She's not trying to break you. She's trying to see if you're strong enough to lead, grounded enough to trust, and confident enough to handle both her and life itself. Fail the tests, and you get labeled as fragile, reactive, or easy to control. Pass them, and you stand out instantly, because very few men ever do. Women don't remember every word you say, but they never forget how steady you are when they push your buttons. That steadiness is rare, and rare is valuable. So here's the final advice. Don't chase, don't fold, don't panic. When a test comes, breathe, pause, and remember who you are. Confidence isn't about being the loudest in the room. It's about being the calmest when the pressure hits. That's what she's looking for. That's what earns respect. Now, if you want to dive deeper into the psychology of these dynamics, how to recognize subtle mind games, how to respond with strength, and how to build the kind of presence women actually admire, then stick with this channel. Because this is just the surface. Hit that like button if this opened your eyes, subscribe so you don't miss the next breakdown, and share this with a friend who keeps failing these tests without even realizing it. Trust me, he'll thank you later.